It's funny. People have been trying to figure out the origins of the universe for, well, ever since humanity's been around. And there have been a lot of debates, and we see the Big Bang Theory and all these different things. But one movement that seems to be gaining traction more and more, at least in our quote unquote enlightened age, is the idea of intelligent design. It seems more and more people are getting on the idea of intelligent design. Where did the universe come from? Well, John answers that question. He tells us how the universe came, and he tells us how we came to be in John chapter 1, verse 4, when he says, "In him was life, and the life was the light of men." Welcome to our devotional, Walking Through the Word. That would be lowercase word rather than the uppercase word that we've been looking at here in John chapter 1. But today we're going to be looking at verses 4 and 5 because John is trying to complete where verse 2 and 3 were, and he's finishing the idea that was made in verse 2 when he says he was there with God at the beginning of creation, and in him, through this word, everything was made. Not that the word came to creation, but creation came through him, as the Zondervan exegetical commentary says. Everything came through Jesus, this word. And not only that, but in him, verse 4, was life. In the word, other translations say, was life. And the life was the light of humanity. In other words, it was the spark of existence. It was the thing that allowed us to go. Now, there are all sorts of other mythologies and ideas that come in that talk about creation. We have ancient texts, the Epic of Gilgamesh. We have Egyptian. We have Greek in this case, and the idea of the flame being brought to man from Zeus and all those different things. And so we have humanity. We oftentimes try to explain things, and we'll take what the truth is and we'll use the truth and bend it to what we think should be explanation. And it's ironic because the Bible actually provides all the explanation we need for the creation of man. It explains why there's hurt in the world. It explains what the ideal was. It explains what kind of God we have. Whereas the other epics, they kind of do that, except that their gods are little g gods because they always have origins and creators. Their gods are often selfish and selfless, not selfless, but in completely self-centered ways are there, and humanity is either accidental, as in things like the Epic of Gilgamesh and those things, or they are created as slaves and subservience, kind of as in Greek mythology puts it. None of these things were good. Humanity was not created good in any other way except what you see here. There are very few other religious texts that show that humanity was created for the purpose of good. And interestingly enough here, this is why it's so important that we say, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. Remember, all the way back at Genesis, when God saw what he created, it was good. And then when God created man and woman, it was very good. See, we were created good to begin with. We were created with this light. We were created with the ability to overcome darkness, which is the antithesis of light. As a matter of fact, that's what verse 5 says. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Now, you can look at the darkness and you can think of several different ways. You can think of death, because it's true, in creation, initially there was no death. Adam and Eve were not intended to die until they chose sin. They were not intended to have any darkness. Darkness certainly did pierce the light, but the light actually could not be overcome by the dark. So we can look at the darkness as death. We can look at the darkness as Satan and his minions attacking and trying to overcome. And you can look and see Satan deciding and trying to do everything he can to stop the line of the woman. We've talked about this in other sermon series and other devotionals. We can see the darkness is there, and the darkness is doing everything it can, and yet it can never. This is important. Darkness can never overcome the light. The light is pure. The light is good. The light is perfect. And John uses that a lot. Light is always good. Darkness is always bad. So when John says, in him was life, and the life was the light of men, you're seeing several things here. Number one, the life that this word gave was good because it was the light of people. It was not just the light of a little bit of light. It was all complete good, pure, wonderful. So whoever this word is good. And the light that he gave to humanity was good. And so John is now establishing that this word and God is good. That this goes and flies in the face of a lot of the other mythologies that were around during John's time about accidental humanity. There was nothing accidental about creation. Creation was good. Not only was creation good, creation was light. And so John is, again, continuing to set the stage on not only is this word all powerful, but this word is all good. And this word is all intentional. Nothing was done by accident. Everything was done on purpose and with purpose. So here we go. John has set the stage. This is incredible. This is exciting. And then he shifts gears in verse 6. And we'll talk about that one next time.